Where's Waldo? Oh hi KBP. What do you think about points equaling brain cells? There might be a connection. Oh noes. KBP has more brain cells than me. That's cool.
Oh, hi. Hello. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How's everybody doing today? I am doing great. It was kind of a sunny day today, but not too hot. How are you? Anyway, so today is Wednesday. What I'm going to do is I've got a couple of politics headlines to look at. We'll look at the headlines. We'll look at the numbers. We'll look at some stuff. KBP is groovy. So glad to hear it. Very cool. So I've got some politics headlines to look at. We'll look at them. We'll feel them out. We'll put them up on the screen, and everybody will have a groovy time. Apparently, that's what we're going with today. If you would like to suggest what we talk about, you can do so in the Discord server right there. Go to that Discord server right there. Click on it. Go to the general thing and put up a link, and we'll talk about whatever whatever politics stuff you put in there. And if you're there, while you're there, you can argue with everybody else. You can debate with people. I debated with a cool guy today. It was a very good time. Everybody had a good time. Hop in there. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you're feeling. Do a little bit of debate. KBP is posting funny GIFs in there regularly. It is a good time. You can be there too if you're cool. If you would like to watch other things that I have made, you can do so on the YouTube right there, if I spell it right. I usually don't. I just kind of throw my hands at the keyboard until something comes out. So hop on over to the YouTube link right there. Give me a follow, give me a like, and give me a thumbs up. Smash the bell, break the thumbs, explode the sub button, murder the like button, burn the comment section. It's very violent over there on YouTube. Anywho, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at some politicking stuff. I don't have any puppy dogs. They are sleeping at the moment, probably. But if they get up, I will go and grab them, and we will have a puppy dog break whenever they get around to it. They apparently operate on their own schedule. They do not respect me or my schedule. They do not respect you, honestly. Telling you, sorry, KBP, he does not respect you. He does what he wants when he wants. And if you get to see him, consider yourself lucky. It's kind of how it goes with Bobo, the baby bark boy. Let's take a look at some politics. Let's do that right there. Ooh, there it is. This is where I wanted to start tonight because this is a good story. I liked this one. GOP pollster on Trump Harris. I have never seen anything like this. So what we're going to do, yeah, it's true. Drama Llama, the puppy dog, is a big old drama queen. That is for sure. So what have we got here? We've got Republican pollster Frank Luntz, and he is a Republican pollster. Trust me. He definitely is on their side. Is stunned at the current state of events with the Kamala Trump matchup and this year's presidential election. Luntz, who is called the Nostradamus of pollsters, he probably made up that thing himself, and conducts focus groups, has been bullish on Trump defeating Joe Biden and returning to the White House. Now he says he can't believe what he's seeing among his focus groups in the polls. So we're going to listen to him talk right down here, and I'm going to interrupt him every now and then to talk over him and explain to you what he's talking about and why and stuff like that. So he is a Republican pollster for sure. He supports and wants what Republicans. He supports and wants Republicans to win. He always has. So he's a little bit deluded, and that's because he buys, in quotation marks, he buys what the Republicans are selling. He feels like it's like the people should be following Trump, but can't quite comprehend why they wouldn't. So let's hear what he has to say.
It is polls in the presidential race showing the Vice President Harris gaining ground in some swing states and even eroding some of former President Trump's lead in Florida. Our next guest says if the election were held today, she would win. Joining us right now is pollster and political strategist Frank Luntz. That's a turn.
It's more than that.
That's a plot twist.
She's bringing out people who are not interested in voting for either Trump or Biden. So the entire electoral pool has changed. And if it continues in this direction, you have to start to consider Democrats winning the Senate and Democrats winning the House.
Ooh. I love the sound of that. Tell me more.
the actual people who are participating. She's got intensity now. She's got an intensity advantage. She's got a demographic advantage. And I haven't seen anything like this happen in 30 days in my lifetime.
How big is that marginal extra voter that she's bringing in? I mean, how much does that change the pool?
1%, maybe 2%. That's it. But that's enough.
Right.
Can I just ask you, though, about the veracity, frankly, of the polls right now? Because you go back and look, and there was an interesting report yesterday showing that if you look at where Donald Trump was in terms of what the polling showed is back in 2016,
Yep.
undercounted. You go even in 2020, undercounted.
Listen to this guy cope. He's like, but they undercounted him in 2016 and in 2020.
And so, you start to think about the, margin of error situation where maybe she's up, 1 or 2%. But, is the Trump vote fully counted?
But that's why my process is not just to do the numbers. It's also to do the focus groups, to listen, to understand why people feel this way. And
Why people feel this way. What do we always say? What is the entire thesis that I have been pushing since I started this channel is that all politics are based on feelings. Does he know it? We'll get into that at the end of this discussion. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to decide.
now my groups are broken up by young women saying, I'm not voting for him anymore. Make no mistake, there are three attributes, three components.
You think it's a switch? It's not, because you just said, I'm not voting for them anymore. So you think they were voting for Donald Trump, and now they're voting for Harris?
The people who are undecided have all collapsed towards Harris. The people who are weak Trump have all collapsed towards undecided.
Oh, I love the sound of that, too. That sounds so good. The undecideds are moved to Harris. The people who are thinking about Trump have moved to undecided. He's talking about her winning, is what he's talking about right here.
It's this broad shift. I'm trying to do a focus group tonight with undecided voters under the age of 27 for a major news outlet. And I can't recruit young women to this because they don't exist as undecided voters.
There are no undecided ladies. There aren't any undecided women. They all know. And he can't find them. The pollster, the man who puts together groups and asks them what they're thinking, can't find undecided women. Because they all know. They've all decided. And they've all shifted towards Harris.
And you shift the demographics and you shift the entire outcome. There are issues, attributes, and the conditions of the country.
I like how he breaks this up. So I'm pausing him here. It's only a 2-minute thing, but I'm going to milk it for as much content as I can. I like the way he breaks this up. There are issues, attributes, and conditions. I think he's got something there. The issues seem pretty straightforward. What is your stance on this law? What is your idea for this rule of government and stuff like that? What should the government be telling us and what should they not? Issues don't win elections, and he knows it too. Most people are not going to sway back and forth on those. You have an idea of what should be the law or what should be illegal or what shouldn't. You're pretty set on that. People don't usually bounce back and forth, changing their ideas on issues themselves. Usually not. That's the hardest thing to change, I would suggest. He talks about attributes. That's the feelings all day long. Who makes the speech that moves you with the feelings, whether that feeling be fear and anger or hope and happiness? Attributes are where he's saying Kamala is winning, and I think she is, but I think that it's far more important than he wants it to be. I think attributes and the feelings people have, again, just like I said a minute ago, all politics are based on feelings. Attributes are driving her forward, and they're driving people away from Trump. And then that third thing that he was talking about was conditions. This is the economy and how you feel about the economy. How does it look to you? How high are the gas prices? How much do the things cost? How do you feel about the crime rate? How well is the education in the education system working at the moment? Things like that. Those are the conditions that he's describing. And I think Kamala has issues down. I mean, I think she's right on the issues because I think that she's the furthest left person that I get to vote for. She is correct on the attributes, the feelings that everybody has. Everybody's feeling hopeful and happy and pleasant, and Donald Trump is pushing fear, which is pushing people away from him. And in the conditions, I think Donald Trump is lying about them. So let's listen to him talk about it, because I think Donald Trump is lying constantly about the danger that the country is in. We're going to die, folks. There won't be a country left. Bacon is 5 times more than it used to be. It's not. Man, we can all know that that's not true.
Issues and conditions favor Donald Trump. He should be winning this election.
The issues, according to this poll guy, the issues and the conditions favor Donald Trump. I think he's wrong. This is why I call him a Republican pollster with a bias. He does not know that Republican issues lose with the broad public. They just do. People do not want Republican laws passed. They fight against them. They like the ACA, but they hate Obamacare. That kind of crap. Most people do not like the Republican positions. Republicans are losing because of their repeal of Roe v. Wade. They are losing because of that. The states that have actually put the issue up for debate and for votes, not Texas because they didn't vote, but the states that do put it up for debate and the states that do put up abortion rights for vote are coming out further left than anyone had expected them to. They are moving further left on this issue. And that's why Texas won't let you vote for it. That's why Texas didn't let anybody vote for it. They just put out a decree and said, here you go. This is the rules now. This is the things that you get. And yeehaw, howdy, howdy, go America. No democracy here in Texas. So they aren't, the majority of people don't agree with him on those issues. Then what is the other one that he said? The conditions. Yeah. As for the conditions, Trump lies about those so constantly, so obviously. He lies about gas prices. He lies about the bacon prices. He lies about the crime rate. He lies about the education system. He lies about the wars. The people see that and they are abandoning him. They're leaving him behind because of the blatant, obvious lies that he does. I vote for you because of yeehaw, howdy, howdy, just because it sounds cool. You're right.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The bowling fan, you just turned a frog gay. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I hope you're proud of yourself. You just turned a frog gay. You're the second bowling fan. I swear. Okay. Bowling fan. This is very important. Are you also PBA bowling 123? If not, I have 2 bowling guys in my follows, and that's just weird that it happened twice, right? Like the last person to follow me was PBA Bowling 123, and I was like, okay, well that probably stands for Pro Bowling Association or something like that. And I'm apparently hot with the bowling guys. Who knew? I'm being streamed in a bowling alley somewhere. How do you know? How do I know what? Well, you're called the bowling fan, but the last person to subscribe was a couple of days ago, or to hit that follow button, was named PBA Bowling. And I'm like, wow, that's okay. Am I being broadcast in bowling alleys? Is that what's happening? I don't know. This is interesting. It's just that it happened twice in a row. And I'm like, okay, well, is something going on here with the bowling guys? Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. By all means, hop in there and tell me what you're thinking. Okay. I'm not banned or anything. I was just a different account. Okay. Really? That makes me feel better. Because you coming back to a stream, which is great. I appreciate that. Thank you. But having 2 bowling fans in a row, that would spiral my brain out into weird places. I'm like, man, why do I get 2 bowling fans in a row? Is that like a thing? Okay. I appreciate you saying that. You could have driven me crazy by saying, no, you've never been PBA bowling. You could have driven me crazy. And I would be laying awake late at night just thinking, how do I get 2 bowling guys in a row? Okay. Okay, let's see. Back on track, Waldo. Back on track. Out of the gutter. Back into the lane. I'd have to pivot to all bowling content. Yeah, that's the point. The algorithm suggests that I need to pivot to bowling content. The algorithm demands it, and I wouldn't be able to stop it. Joe Biden was a terrible president. No, he was mediocre. Joe Biden was mediocre. He wasn't great. He did some good stuff with unions, and he was just too old. I said that more than a year ago when I suggested we do a primary. Even though he was the incumbent, I called for a primary a year ago so that we could see whether or not he can handle it. He can't. He couldn't handle a single debate. I'm glad he stepped it down. Once I saw that debate, I was glad he stepped down. Hers is like 70. She's getting too old too. She's 62 or 63 or something like that. So she's not too bad. She's 20 years younger than either of the other guys. Biden or Trump. She's 20 years below them. So she can swing for 8 more years. That's fine. Bowling content. Duck pin. Okay. You guys discuss duck pin bowling, and I will continue reading the news. Thank you. Anywho, where did I leave off? Goodness. What was I talking about? Okay, I was thinking, yeah, Donald Trump lies about a lot of those things, and he can't win because he's lying a lot. Frank Luntz here is a Republican, and he cannot fathom the idea that those things are also based on feelings. Whether or not the education system is working is based on feelings. All politics are based on feelings. Crime rate based on feelings too. Somebody tells you it's high and somebody tells you it's low. If you've been mugged one time in your entire life, you are harder on crime than somebody who's never had to deal with those things. Slightly based on feelings. You can count the numbers, yes, but if you feel afraid, you will vote for Donald Trump.
But the attributes are so much in Harris's favor that he's not. That the very attributes that Trump offers, and the best example, you did the story.
The attributes he was talking about are the feelings, that she's bringing hope and happiness, where he's bringing fear and anger. So she is got the attributes locked down. I'm telling you, Frank Luntz, listen to me. She's also got the issues and the, she doesn't have the, what's that third one that he came up with? She's got the issues, but he has the conditions. He's just lying about them. If he were more honest about the conditions and not so blatantly hyperbolic about them, I think he would get his message across better. Let's continue.
On the UAW, why is Donald Trump saying publicly, I want to fire the same people that he's getting now, still getting union members? It's ridiculous. It's as though he's lost control. And I know that there are billionaires who watch this show who are spending a lot of money on Donald Trump, and they don't understand why he's committing political suicide.
Political suicide? Trump has never been in control of his message or his. He controls the media slightly with his rambling incoherence. He rope-a-dopes them slightly, but he's never been in control. He barely has any strategy. He just does his regular misunderstand, delusion, fear tactic. He does it all the time. Political suicide? No. This is the end of the MAGA thought process. Misunderstand, delusion, fear. That is where the MAGA thought process leads you. Well, his ass is up for refugees. Well, that's not true. Waldo, why are you so anti-Trump? Or were your parents anti-Trump? I don't think so. Well, did you become a teenager in 1995? Hang on, let me do the count. Yes, 1995. That's true. That would have been 13. So, are my parents anti-Trump? I'm quite sure my mom has multiple times voted for Ted Cruz, which is a shame upon me. But they're not so overly political. They generally just vote right-wing Republican without knowing who's even on the ballot. Trump needs to be more racist or else he will forfeit the election. We want 2016 energy back. Well, that sounds like a terrible idea, Tony. That sounds like a good way to lose. The people in the middle are running away from him because of that kind of rhetoric. I will not support Trump unless he promises no war with Iran implementing Project 2025. He wants war with Iran. My man, Tony, he wants war with Iran. He really, really does. And implementing 2025, he doesn't want to do that only because it doesn't have his name on it. If they called it Project Trump 2025, he'd probably be on board with it. If they said this is the Trump plan 2025 and they put his face on the cover, then he might be more in favor of it. Your parents born in the 40s or the 30s? Good Lord, no. You asking? You want my mother's maiden name too? Are you hacking me, bowling fan? Are you hacking me? Are you trying to social engineer me right now? I'm on to you. I am on to you and your social engineering tactics. Then let me think. But if you are hacking me, bowling fan, listen, come here. If you are hacking me, can you tell me what my passwords are? There's a lot of them I've just completely forgotten. I don't know what they are anymore. I'm going to need you to hack me. I'll message you my mother's maiden name, and then you can hack me. And then just let me know what my passwords are. You know, I don't know them anymore. How do you know to read? Well, a teacher taught me, Tony. I'm cool with letting Trump forfeit. Yeah, I'm cool with him too. Do you know how to read? Okay, I will not support Trump unless he promises no war with Iran. But Trump wants that war, Tony. He does. He wants it. Why would he promise no war with Iran when he's the one who wants it? And is that a yes or a no to implementing 2025? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know where you've landed on that. 2025, Project 2025, is a nightmare. It is authoritarianism, plain and simple. I'm not with Trump unless he becomes more right-wing and pledges mass deportation and no more foreign wars for the Israel lobby. Okay. You're further right than Donald Trump. Is that what you're telling me? More deportation, which is an insane situation that won't function at all. I can understand that, Tony, because I'm further left than Kamala or Biden. I can get that. Mass deportation is a terrible idea that will end in millions of dead. And no more foreign wars for the Israel lobby seems unlikely, as Donald Trump has suggested that we need to be holding hands with Israel and absolutely funding every single thing they do. He wants that to end over in Gaza because he just wants them to just flatten the whole place and take it by conquest. Who's stepping further to the right than Trump? Yeah. Well, the thing you don't understand is that Donald was the greatest president that we ever had. Nah, I don't think that's true. I'm with him on Israel and the other border policy, like when he calls out terrible reporters too. Right, because you like it when he gives them sass. You like it when he's spiteful towards those reporters. I understand that you do like that. It's just I don't think it's helpful. Everyone knows Tony's far right as you can go. A little bit further today, he'll loop right back around to the far left. Horseshoe theory is what we call that, KBP. We're going to watch Tony do horseshoe theory. He's going to prove it. Okay, with Trump losing, if he sends a message to the Republican Party to go further right, we will primary the rhinos as well. Shockingly unlikely, Tony. What I think will happen, what I actually do think is going to happen, is Kamala's going to win. We'll look at the map later. He's on kick. You got to go over to kick, bowling fan. Sorry. Then, after Trump has lost again, he won't run anymore. He just can't. He doesn't have the sauce. He's too old. He'll be 4 years older next time, even more brain soupy. What he will continue to do is be the weird puppet master in the background. He will be showing up at certain people's rallies when the 2026 midterms happen, because they will. Despite what Trump has said, we will not cease to be a country. We will not die, and won't have a country left. There will be no country left. That's his line, but I think it's nonsense. The 2026 midterms will happen, and when they happen, Donald Trump will pick the winners for the Republicans. It'll be a good time. While we make the leftism illegal, by the way, enjoy your last days. Well, that sounds like thought crime, and I don't think that's a good idea, Tony. Who's the walking around in the back? You got a wife or something? Well, oh, that's the Stream Jedi. You keep your eyes out for him. He is a Jedi that happens to live in my house. He swings by every now and then. Stream Jedi. Yep, that's him. And then I have a witch coven that lives downstairs, so you might hear them cackling in the background. So if you hear the cackling, that's the witch coven that lives downstairs from me. It's very weird over here on the West Coast. on the weird coast. So the 2026 midterms, a long way off, I know, but what will happen is he will pick and choose, puppet master style, pull the strings behind the curtains to show up at somebody else's rally to say this. I sure do love this guy who's running for a House seat in Kentucky. You should vote for him. He's great. He gets the Trump seal of approval. And he's going to try and get them to win so that they will keep giving him money and fame and importance and stuff like that. His trials are going to continue. It's going to be weird. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with those. It's a mess. But we have gotten so far off topic. I like talking to you guys. By the way, your point is kind of shit. The Trump campaign pushed the Republican Party in a different direction, into an incoherent direction. All the old GOP politicians are libtards now, such as Bill Kristol and Jeb Bush. Get with them. That's what I'm saying, Tony. I'm agreeing with you here. Bill Kristol and Jeb Bush are not far enough right for the Trump Party. The Trump Party is about to crash and burn. 4 more months from now, they will crash and burn. They will ignite in a fire, in a cleansing fire, and they will cease to be. And then the people like Bill Kristol and Jeb Bush will be back because they were in it for the long haul, and they will move the party not to the right, but towards the center. We're slowly purging the rhinos and the Israel loyalists. I think that you are fracturing, Tony. Yeah, I don't think that's purging. I think you're segregating yourselves. The right is now split into the old school Republicans like Bill Kristol, like Mitt Romney, like the Jeb Bushes. All those guys are there. And in the Trump camp that you're talking about has split itself off. And that split is going to crash and burn about 4 months from now. They are going to collapse in on themselves because they don't have the juice. They don't have the sauce. They don't have the riz to continue once Donald Trump has lost again. And I think he will lose again. If America disappears, where will I put my monument wall for the Thanos City and State Republic? Yeah, we're going to build it in Canada. Shinseto, hit me up later. We'll put it in Canada. You mentioned 3 mentions of neocon liberals. The actual right is people like Pat Buchanan. Tony, I have said this about you before. You are a dinosaur. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. But you're bringing Pat Buchanan. Who did you bring up last time? Dennis Kucinich? That's who you mentioned last time you were on. Nobody knows who those people are. I do because I'm old and I've been paying attention to the politics game for a long time. I knew Dennis Kucinich and I know Pat Buchanan. Nobody in the current party is running anything like them. They are gone. They are over. They have gone extinct. I'm sorry. What you're left with is J.D. Vance, my man. You really are. And you're left with Vivek the fake Ramaswamy. That is where your Republican Party will go. That is where it's going to go, my man. J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel and Maytag, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Those are the Republican Party for moving forward. Donald Trump is going to crash. He's going to burn. His followers are going to split and blame everybody under the sun. We're going to get some violence. It's going to happen. And then, after all the dust settles, Donald Trump won't run anymore. He'll be too old. The people will pine for him longingly for the good old days. But J.D. Vance, Vivek Ramaswamy will be there to pick up the ashes, to pick up the reins, and try to hold the Republican Party together, and it will be a mess. They won't have a coherent narrative. The old guard, like the guys you're talking about, won't respect them, and it will be fractured and divisive, even on the right. MAGA split sounds good for democracy. It is. That's part of democracy, you know. We need less J.D. Vance and more Pat and also Dr. Duke. Tony. Dr. Duke. Like David Duke, the Ku Klux Klan member?
Friggin' frog's gay.
Wesley, you just turned a frog gay. I hope you're proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. Good job. My pick for the Republicans' next president would be resurrected corpse of Bob Dole. There you go. Man, I would love for the reps to dissolve. I don't think they're going to dissolve completely, Zayla. I think they will come to there's going to be a lot of turmoil after Kamala wins. And I think Trump backs up, gets away from it a little bit, I suspect. And everybody will be scrounging around for the next superstar. And what you'll get is the superstars who have been trying to emulate Trump. J.D. Vance tries to emulate Trump. Vivek, the fake Ramaswamy, tries to emulate Trump. He tries to be Trumpian in his rhetoric, in his discussions. When he's in front of a camera, he acts like Trump. So you will have those types of people trying desperately to be the next Trump. And that will make a mess. Dems too, either party is fine. Let's see, old Republicans and new Republicans like a common sense versus trailer. Yeah, it's Dr. David Duke. So also he's a former member of the group that you mentioned and reformed his worldview. And then I said, okay, so he got better. How about I'm going to say it again, Tony. I hope you don't take this personally, but you're a little bit stuck in time. You're a little bit behind. You're discussing David Duke, who is a member of that group, being the Ku Klux Klan, and reformed his worldview in the 1990s. Great. He should go and live on a lovely retirement home with his grandkids. He should not be in charge of politics of tomorrow. There are problems with AI, problems with the way social media works. We have news networks 24 hours that are spreading disinformation. We have Twitter that's spreading disinformation. We have real world problems that cannot be solved by someone who was already a grown man in the 1990s and reformed his worldview. The future is now. How would Vivek lead? Would you rug pull the federal government? Yes, he would. He would rug pull the federal government. That's why they want to buy Bitcoin. That's why they want the government to start buying Bitcoin so they can rug pull the government. Yes. I don't take it personally. There's a lot of fresh faces on the scene like Nicholas J. Fuentes, who provides a voice for the youth. You mean the neo-Nazi Nicholas J. Fuentes? He's a bad guy. The Ukrainian University MOP gave David Duke a non-accredited PhD in history. He's not stuck back in time because he's gone so forward in the Republican that he's gone full reverse and put pedal to the metal. KBP, you're pushing that horseshoe theory again. Tony is not old. He's so far ahead that he's looped back around. He's lapped us all. Okay. Interesting theory. Okay. I'm going to finish this thing about Lutz. What do we got? Okay. Does he have more to say? I think he does. Do I have more to say? I think I do. What were we talking about? We were talking about the MAGA thought process. Yes. So political suicide. No, this is the end point of the MAGA thought process. Misunderstand, delusion, fear.
What can he do? Are these problems fixable? It sounds like the reason why women or undecided women are now deciding to vote for Kamala Harris, those are things that cannot be fixed.
Yes. So there are three issues. Number one is affordability. We should not call it inflation ever again. It's housing, healthcare, food, and fuel.
Housing, healthcare, food, and fuel. So let's take them one at a time. Housing. What does Trump say about it? He doesn't have an actual plan to make housing more affordable. All he does is spread fear of government housing projects, the government housing projects, and they're going to build low-income housing right next to your suburban house, and then your crime will go up. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. The suburbs. People fight all their lives to get into the suburbs and have a beautiful home. There will be no more low-income housing forced into the suburbs. It's going to be going on for years. It's been going on for years. I've seen conflict for years. It's been a hell for suburbia because the division between urban and suburban America is closely tied to the country's racial segregation. Yeah, he doesn't want low-cost available housing because it tends to bring in poor people. Those poor people usually are black and brown. One sec. I'm going to grab this puppy dog right here. Shh. I'm going to sneak up on him.
Bobo the baby bark boy.
I don't plan the Bobo Baby Bark Boy breaks. They happen when they happen. Okay. Whenever he feels to bless us with his presence. Blessed with a baby Bark Boy break. And now he wants me to play. Lack of unaffordability of housing is a capitalist issue. Absolutely right, Malcidian. And it's not a government issue. The government would have to crack down and pass regulations to make those things more affordable or to build the houses themselves. That's a regulation. Donald Trump hates regulations. How is he going to make the housing more affordable? Something oil, you know? Well, you should have moved to the ghetto, Maji. Okay, prove them racist wrong. I live in the place that I live. If a low-income housing moved in across the street from me, if they started building, I would lend them a hammer if they need it. I've got a hammer right back here. Look, there's a hammer right there. I would lend them the hammer if necessary. If they were like, "Hey, Waldo, can I borrow that hammer right there?" I would. And there's a tape measure right there too. I would let them borrow those to build that stuff across the street from me. They're a construction site, Tony. Are you saying construction workers steal things? How uncouth of you. If that were built across the street, yes, I would accept that. The problem with it being built across the street is that it tends to drive single family house prices down. That's the only thing that is important. Our entire economy is built on buying and selling each other's houses. The companies that own these houses want the price of that house to go up every year. That's impossible. Doesn't make any sense. And it makes them unaffordable. And because they need to make a profit, and that's all that it's about making profits. It's not about having a place to live. It's not about getting people into a house. It's not about shelter from the elements. It's about making profit. Damn it. Highly recommend everybody volunteer some of their time for Habitat for Humanity. Yeah. And that is that a government thing or is it just a charity? I expect Mr. Bowling isn't a fan of hers. That's okay. He's allowed to come in here and say things like that. Then would you join the conversation? Yeah, I know, right? Like, make a point. Tony's in here making points. I disagree with Tony's points, but he's in here making them. Seems like you're on the receiving end of some unsolicited shade. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. So, yeah. Housing. Yeah, housing. That's what we're talking about. Trump doesn't have a plan. Don't build cheap houses in the suburbs. That's what he wants. Don't build those. Then do you have a positive vision? Do you have a positive plan on what to do? Well, throw everybody who's homeless in jail. That's his plan. I don't know that will work very well. So let's think. Yeah, so there's his plan on housing. Not much there. Let's go back here. Go over here. Lost my track. Train of thought. Let's go close that. We're going to move over here. And then what was the other two things he talked about? So yeah, he mentioned housing, healthcare. That was the second thing he mentioned. Do I even need to talk about this one? The Republicans have no plan for healthcare. Either you make enough money to afford private insurance or you die. That's their entire plan. That's all there is. Food and fuel, he mentioned those. Those are hot button issues right now that Trump talks about often, but he's always exaggerating. He blames the government for raising those prices, and that's insane. It's the companies striving for more profits for their board of investors that raises those prices. The investors at the bacon company need more profit, so they raise the price on the product. The investors at the logistics company that moves bacon to the store and livestock to the slaughterhouse needs more money, so they raise their prices of transportation. The investors at the pork rendering factory need more money, so they raise the price to render pork. The investors at the gigantic agriculture corporation need more money, so they raise the price of farming. Our entire society hinges on Wall Street investors feeling good. And the only thing that makes them feel good is infinite growth. Posted some stats. I ran a chat, use Fed Reserve. Okay, we'll take a look at those in the chat. I'll bring those up in just a minute. Comparing House of causing inflation and wage growth since 1960s. Okay, you think Trump lies? Look at the Kamala Harris. She's a word salad lying weirdo. My man, my bowling fan here. Donald Trump lies constantly, nonstop, forever. He just rambles, lies constantly. If he's ever told you a story, I talked to this guy who was in charge of trucking. He's making it up. I talked to somebody in a helicopter. He's making it up. He makes things up all the time. Stories describing Trump. Yeah, I know. All right, so let's see what the rest of this Frank Luntz has to say.
And the people that Trump needs cannot afford it either every week or every month. Second, wasteful Washington spending, which you're not talking about anywhere. This was an issue over the last 8 years. Hardworking taxpayers hate it when they see their money being wasted. And third, it's not just immigration, it's safety and security. And I brought the headline here. I look at this. I walked into your office. Yep. I don't know if you can get this.
This is the New York Post. It says $5 billion, shocking amount New York City taxpayers have spent on migrants, and it's still going up.
And this people will look at this and go, damn it.
Right.
People will look at this and go, damn it, in frustration. What's frustration, everybody? A feeling. They hate it when they see their tax money wasted. What is hate? A feeling. People will look at it and have feelings. So the important question is, does Frank Luntz, that pollster right there, know what we know, that all politics are based on feelings? If he does, he certainly isn't allowed to say it. He would have to obfuscate it behind common sense. And because it's just common sense to be upset about immigrants getting your tax money. It's just common sense to hate it when the government spends your money. So maybe he does know, but he's not strong enough to say it. And the right, and the people on the right aren't strong enough to hear it. And they're definitely not strong enough to accept it. All politics are based on feelings. They always have been. Last interview was mad rambling. I know, right? I listened to the whole thing for like 2 hours. KBP was here for most of it. It was just jibber jabber that didn't have a point. 2012 called. They want their safe spaces back. What's your thoughts on Kamala? And she's going to let all the illegal immigrants to commit more crime. Kamala is going to allow for people to claim asylum properly, thoroughly, through the law. And if she's smart, she would spend money on putting judges down there so they can adjudicate the asylum claims and send the people back who don't fit the bill. She's probably not going to do that. She's going to pass the Joe Biden Republican border bill that Donald Trump told them not to pass because it takes away his best and favorite argument. Joe Biden put together, and all the Dems in Congress, because they're wieners, put together a Republican bill for the border. That's the Republican bill that Joe Biden tried to pass about 6 months ago, maybe. I think it was 6 months ago. Could be a year. It could be 78 years ago because it's been that long. Every week lasts a year now. Have you noticed that? Anyway, about 6 months ago, they started talking about this border bill where he would shut the border down. It's a Republican bill. They love it. They don't love it, but they would like it to be harder. But it's not hard enough. But they were going to vote for it. Donald Trump told them not to, because then those numbers would come down, and then the news media would say, "Oh, look, Joe Biden got those numbers down," burr, burr, burr. And then more people would vote for Joe Biden. But I don't want a Republican bill. No, I want almost completely. I want it to be cheap, easy, and quick to register to become an American. I do. Running on an issue drums up more support than solving it. Yeah, exactly. People are working men more than a retired one. Yeah, exactly. I want it to be simple, easy. And what we do is, if they're coming across and they really have some legitimate fear, they're asking for amnesty, get them, or not amnesty, asylum. That's the word. If they're asking for asylum, get them in front of a court date, find out if they know anybody in the United States, where they're going to go, where they're going to live, stuff like that, and then charge them taxes to come in and become an American. Thoughts on abortion and guns. We'll get to that in a sec. So charge them taxes for all the things, for the amount, for the judge that saw them, for the time they spent in court. Charge them. I'm okay with that in their taxes. So when they come in here and they get a job, they'll be being paid over the table instead of under it, like they usually are, and then they'll be paying into Social Security tax. They'll have a temporary license that says that you're still working on becoming an American, and then when they have been here for 7 years or something like that, it's debatable on how many years. After the years, and they've paid all their stuff through their taxes, make them Americans. They won't be undocumented. They'll be documented thoroughly. And if you're on that transition program and you start committing crimes, you get more punishment. I'm okay with that, you guys. I really fucking am. These people come across with no cash on them. The cartels take it all. Yeah, exactly. That's the other problem. Make weed legal and we'll have fewer cartel problems. I know they're all fentanyl now, but I'm down with documented denizens, but not on a board with citizens yet. So yeah, we document them. We have them come in. We have them prove themselves, and put them on put them under a microscope for a few years. Maybe not a microscope, but we'll just keep our eyes on them. If you break the law, you get more punishment. I'm okay with that, honestly. If you told them that ahead of time, they would be okay with it too. They would. If you explained it to them, listen, you're coming into the country. We're going to give you this temporary status. If you pay your taxes on time and if you don't commit any crimes, then you will be an American citizen after 5 to 7 years or something along those lines. I think that they would say, yes, sir, and thank you, and they would get their ass to work. Honestly. A huge unfortunate issue is that these people can't cross legally, right, because their cartels own the Mexican side of the ports of entry. Right, exactly. That's a big, complicated, difficult issue that can't be adjudicated with Trump's level of intellect. It can't. He's not smart enough to figure this out. He's not smart enough to comprehend that. He's not smart enough to come up with a plan to deal with that. He's not. All he does is talk shit. This is not a problem that can be solved by talking shit. So I'm done with that one. Let me bring up what Zayla sent to us. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to hit the pasta button. I did the copy. I did the pasta. What are we looking at? Home price, median family income ratio. So what are you saying with this one, Zayla, that the ratio, meaning that, okay, I can't see the bottom down there. Oops. Yeah, I suck. Okay, let me go here and then scroll down. There we go. So the price costs, the price of housing is going up steadily. Is that what you're saying? Home price divided by median family income is the ratio. So and it's going up because the mortgages are too damn high. Let's look at this next one that you sent. And Zayla sent me these in the Discord. You could do the same thing. If you want to be cool like him, you can go to that Discord right there and send me stuff. Median income housing and ratio adjusted for 2022 values. Housing income ratio. So they're all going up. Housing is up here. Ratio is up, but income has come down a little bit. So income, it usually sticks around with it. Income got way higher than that. So there's a weird thing. And now they're maybe more evened out. Regardless, yeah, that income one goes up and down, doesn't it? Let's go over here. So very nice graphs, Zayla. Well done, sir. I'm getting a little bit of lag. Oh, a wreck. Okay. Notice the red and blue follow each other closely, but green does not follow. Yeah, because that's the income of the people. Yeah, it goes all over the place. In a general sense, Trump is not respected, though you are a shocking amount of people who do respect him. I don't respect him. I think he's a moron. I think bowling fan. Listen, I think Kim Jong-un, is that the young one that he met with, knew that Trump was a moron, that he could manipulate. So he invited him over. Then he manipulated him. Putin and Xi definitely want Trump in there because he's easy to manipulate. They are much, much smarter than him. At least Kamala will try to avoid them. But Trump will want them to be friends. And in trying to be friends with them, he will just accidentally spill state secrets or do something that's really stupid. And they will take advantage of it. Let's go on to the next story. Using someone for your own gain isn't respect. Exactly. That's what I think they would do. They would use him to get as much from their country as they could. Nate Silver's says that momentum has her beating Trump in in an updated election forecast. We've seen momentum for Harris, with her rising constantly to about 2.5% lead in national polls. So Nate Silver, who has his ups and downs, but he's a pollster, so it's fine, updated his model on Tuesday to reflect the surge in support that Vice President Kamala Harris, who now ties or leads Donald Trump in most recent battleground state polling. According to Silver's thing, which accounts for the poll reliability sample size, recently Harris leads Trump in the presidential race by 3.1 points, 46 to 43. We've seen momentum for Harris, with her rising consistently to about 2.5 lead. I read that. I think it's 80 to 90% the age issue. Voters said consistently that it is their number one problem. I mean, Biden's approval ratings have gone up a little bit since he dropped out, because people just thought he was not responsible to run for president, and when he was 86. Harris has other issues, inflation and the border, but they've more than doubled their chances of winning in the election overnight, and that's a pretty remarkable thing to do in the span of a crazy month we've had. Has been a crazy month. Thanks, KBP. See you later. So, this one, Kamala Harris leading in 5 battleground states, according to this survey. Kamala ain't going to win the election, but that's just the truth. Trump will be our next president. I don't think so, my guy. The numbers don't look like it at the moment. Polls are liars. I agree. Polls can't be trusted. But it's nice that they're agreeing with me for the moment. They could steal it again, Zayla. That's true. He has set up a whole bunch of poll watchers and people in Georgia who are just going to break the rules and give him the votes, even if he didn't get them. They're going to find him those 11,000 votes. I'll tell you what. He's not going to make that mistake again. Let's read this one. Kamala Harris is leading Donald Trump in 5 battleground states, according to a new survey. According to the Cook Political Report Swing State Project Survey, released on August 14th, when third-party candidates are included. This is RFK Jr. Oh, he's allowed on the ticket in Texas. You guys, I'm so happy. RFK Jr. is going to be on the ticket in Texas. He's not going to steal any Kamala votes. No, sir. He's going to be stealing Trump votes. Yeah. Voting prevents unwanted presidency. That's right. Make sure you vote so you prevent unwanted presidencies. Unless they cheat like they did in 2020 election. See, bowling. You're wrong. The ballot harvesting Democrats, you've been lied to, my friend, are cheaters, and they decided to do it for the worst president I've ever had. The 2020 election was fair and correct. There was no cheating. Donald Trump's administration even proved that it wasn't an unfair election. They ran all those investigations, his administration, while he was still in charge, and they didn't find anything wrong. The courts all struck down his court cases, 60 court cases. They shut down because he is lying to you. He's lying because it makes him feel better, and you support him because it makes you feel better. That is the essence of politics. It really is. It doesn't get any simpler than that. We value democracy in Texas. Do you? Did they vote for abortion, or did the Texas legislature just tell you what was going to happen? Kind of think they just told you what was going to happen. Let's keep reading this. Let's say, that was about RFK Jr. Yeah. I'm glad RFK Jr. is on there because he's going to steal Trump votes. It's going to be great. We might have blue taxes because RFK steals a bunch of votes. They're going to get hacker again too, probably. See, you're just making stuff up. Those allegations were lies. So they weren't true. And the fact that you keep saying them either means that you still believe them because it makes you feel good, or you're in denial because it makes you feel good. We elect the legislature. Yeah, fine. You elect the legislature, but they didn't put it up for a vote. They should have. They could have. But do you think that I'm suggesting, Zayla, that the legislature made a decision about abortion in Texas, and had the people been given the option to do an election and decide, they would have come down differently than the legislature. That means the legislature isn't being representative. It's being authoritarian, telling you what you can and can't do. Cyber Ninjas tried to prove this deal came up with jack shit. Yep, exactly. Okay, we're going to keep reading. I can't keep getting distracted. I love you guys, but I got to keep reading. The report shows that Harris is 2 points ahead of Trump overall across the 7 states on 46% to Trump's 44%, while she is 2 points ahead in North Carolina and Michigan. So we've got the map over here. Let's go to the map and let's fill it in according to this thing right here. All polls are liars. I know it. I get it. They can't be trusted. But let's look at this one, fill it in, see what it says. 2 points ahead in North Carolina and Michigan. So we're going to turn North Carolina blue, which is fucking wild, and Michigan blue. So there's that. Then, according to this thing, 4 points ahead in Arizona and 5 in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. So Arizona, Penn, and Wisconsin. So Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin go blue, according to that. Then in Nevada, Trump is 5 points ahead, and they are tied in Georgia. So Nevada is red, so we'll turn Nevada red and leave Georgia gray. The Democrats still win with 297. Son of a bitch. I'm going to suggest, guys, that Waldo made a prediction about 2 weeks ago. It was 297 to 241. I put the comment on the live stream myself, 297, 241, and so that I won't forget, so that I won't have to dig back through the VODs to see it. But I put that comment on there myself, 297 to 241. These people agree with me. When was this published? This was August 14th. This was today. These people are agreeing with me. Whoever is at Newsweek. Newsweek agrees with Waldo. Way to go, guys. And that's only if he wins Georgia, and I could be wrong, because if she wins North Carolina, she's going to win Georgia. I'm just saying 313, 225 might be even more likely. Follow trends, not polls. I know polls are liars, but we have to look at something. Something has to be measured. I trust aggregate polling for trends, not outcomes. Waldo, I feel bad for you. Don't. I'm great. Thank you. Bro has been brainwashed and nothing to do about it. I'm great. Thank you. Who came to live stream Dick riding for Trump? I know, right? You're quoting 2020 conspiracy theories, telling me I'm brainwashed. You're going to tell me about the bamboo DNA that's inside the paper ballots now? Did the ballots get shipped to Venezuela and flipped by the ghost of Hugo Chavez, and I'm the crazy one? All right. So, yeah, this has. I can't imagine North Carolina going blue, but Georgia going red. That sounds unlikely to me. But according to this website, it has them 297, 241, which is exactly where Waldo put them last week. But I really do think Georgia goes blue. So 313 to 225. All right, we're going to close that. Yeah, 21 mules. Yeah. Or was it 2,000 mules? I thought it was 2,000 mules. I don't remember. Regardless. Here's another one. This is from Monmouth University. Jumping enthusiasm. So again, this isn't a poll specifically, but an enthusiasm thing. And this has all kinds of, look at all those graphs. Look at those graphs. Those are some serious graphs. And then enthusiastic, the important bit, this is lots of numbers. There's a lot of math happening right here. There's a lot of math. This is more math than I'm used to. But I think the important bit is right here. Opinions of both parties, leaders. So only look at this left side. Only look at this left side. Favorable for Trump, only 42%. Favorable for Biden, only 39%. Favorable for neither, 17%. So this is why we were thinking that Trump was winning. This left side is before Biden dropped out. Trump at 42%, Biden at 39%. We hate both sides at 17%. Now, the 17 was going to be very difficult because that's the people who we have to convince to begrudgingly, unhappily vote for Joe Biden anyway. That was going to be a hard sell. We were going to have to force people to do it. We're going to have to tell them, hey, listen, it's super important. Trump's very dangerous. But now we look over to the right side where it's Trump 42, Harris 47, favorable neither 8%. Those 17 jumped up under Harris, and now it's 42 because Trump didn't change. Biden changed from 39 to 47. Now she is in the lead. People like her more than they liked Biden. That is why she's going to win. Honestly, guys. John K., thanks for coming. Hi, how are you? We're talking about polls. They're very exciting, but you can't trust them. Yeah, PBA, you're allowed to hold your opinion, but I'm going to argue with you. That's okay. But that's why we're here. That's what we're doing here. It's a live stream. I want you to be here, and I want you to argue with me. I remember all the mules and nonsense. Yeah. So I think this is the important bit. Oops, I didn't have it on the screen very good. She ain't going to win, and the polls aren't really accurate. I think she is going to win. Man, I think she is. She's in the lead at the moment, and I don't think that's going to go away. After the first debate, we can discuss this again. That's why we do this. That's why we stream on 3 times a week, so that we can look at what's going on. We can check those trends. We can see how everybody's feeling. And we can determine make a guess on what's going to happen in the future. And we can all celebrate or doom about how awful it's going to be. But yeah, this number right here that changed, that 17 that was favorable for neither jumped up into the favorable for Harris because they're happy that she's there. And I think that's why she's going to win. That's the momentum that Nate Silver was talking about on that last one. That's what he's talking about. The people are excited. The people are hopeful. The people are feeling good. And vibes are what wins presidential elections, not issues. John Kay, polls screwed us in 2016. I know, I agree with you. They did. Well, the polls didn't so much screw us in 2016. We weren't very good at reading them. We all saw 70-30. Hillary 70, Trump 30, and said it's clearly and obvious. That's a percentage. It's like a D10, it's like rolling a D100 in D&D. 70%, you're going to win 70% of the time. But in that 30% is how Trump won. I also thought Biden was still going to win with the Biden polling at the lowest. Yeah, and he was, I think it was going to be close. It was going to be real close with Biden and Trump. It was going to be just barely. And I'm talking very close with Biden there. He was going to win the popular vote by 6 or 7 million again. And Donald Trump was going to get most and almost all of the electoral votes in those red states and stuff like that. So it was going to be damn close, but it could shift back and forth depending on Georgia and things like Pennsylvania. Hillary was also terrible. She should be in jail. She committed many crimes. No, she didn't. As a politician, she was so bad. I'm glad she didn't become president. My man, you just called me brainwashed. Yet you're saying she committed crimes. Nobody has been more thoroughly investigated than Hillary Clinton. Nobody in history has been more thoroughly investigated than Hillary Clinton. And they can't find anything. Either that's because she's a Machiavellian genius or she didn't do anything wrong to actually break the law. You can get close to breaking the law. You can get close. You can get real close to crossing the line, but she didn't cross the line and nobody can find evidence that she has. Right. He moneyballed it. Yeah. Buttery males. Yeah. Buttery males. Love them. Delicious. Except maybe Trump, he's currently being thoroughly investigated. No, he's still got hundreds of secrets that are lying hidden. He's still got closets uninvestigated. He's still got skeletons in closets that you'll never hear about, man. Donald Trump has not been investigated as thoroughly as Hillary Clinton, I think, because she was a lot more open. You complain about it. Everybody complains about her. Sure. I dig it. She's a weirdo. I agree. But she was very open. Yes, she tried to hide stuff, but you generally knew what she was hiding and why. If she was arguing with you, you knew what she was doing and why. I think Trump is more private and more, he's got more stuff hidden because he hasn't been in politics for the past 50 damn years. Hillary's been in politics since she was in college. She really has. If she did anything blatant and obvious, we would have seen it. You can complain about the way she did things. That's fine. Handling of classified information or judgment is that no reliable prosecutor would bring such a case. Right, exactly. Because it skirts that line, Zayla. It's right there on the line. She walks the line. I agree. But she doesn't cross it. She was hiding a bottle of hot sauce. She threw in her purse the first time in the morning. Yeah, Zayla, they wouldn't pursue the case because they wouldn't win the case. The secretary has long said it was a mistake and used her personal email. She would not do it again. Glad the matter is now resolved. Yeah, exactly. She made a mistake. And then she told you about it. And then it was investigated. And it wasn't malicious. Sometimes you can make mistakes. is more example of the wealthy getting away with breaking the law than it is political. I think you're right. I don't think you're wrong there, Zayla, really. She is wealthy. She is important, and they do tend to get more leeway and better judges and stuff like that the more money you throw at it. It's the political equivalent of driving 77 into 65. Yeah, sometimes that can be a mistake. Blame, not malice, what an idiocy will do. Yeah, she made a mistake. She did it wrong. Did she lie trying to cover it up? Did she try and cover her ass afterward? Yes. Not surprised at that. But that's what every human does. What are we talking about? Okay, we talked about that. Let's look at bloop. This. Trump's train wreck Elon Musk interview might have broken the law. The dumpster fire of a conversation between Donald Trump and Elon Musk just became a huge legal headache. Donald Trump's lengthy interview with Elon Musk earlier this week may have violated federal campaign regulations, at least according to one Democrat-aligned political action committee that has already filed an FEC complaint over it. Don't get upset. Don't get excited. Even if this is wrong, it's an FEC complaint. They don't really do anything. The complaint filed Tuesday by End Citizens United argued that the unfettered conversation on Musk's $12.5 billion company amounted to a virtual campaign event. Seemed like a virtual campaign event to me, financed by the social media platform. Per the FEC's website, a contribution is anything of value given, loaned, or advanced to influence a federal election. So it seems like it fits that category because he was campaigning for the guy. They also claim that the event did not fall under press exemptions set forth by the Election Commission on the basis that X is not a traditional news outlet, that the company devoted considerable resources to host the interview, including dedicating real-time staff to fix numerous technical glitches, and perhaps most significantly, that Musk has repeatedly voiced his support for Trump's 2024 race and launched the talk with the intention to platform Trump's personal beliefs. I don't want to hear anybody on the right complain about George Soros ever again. Let's thought experiment. What's the horrible, nightmare, awful thing that George Soros did? Let's imagine that it's true for a minute. That he's been paying the people at the TV studios and he's paying the politicians to push his agenda. Secretly, behind the scenes. Now, a lot of that is horseshit. It's not true. A lot of it is just him giving to Democratic candidates the same way everybody on the right gives to Donald Trump. It's exactly the same. But Elon is the richest man in the world, owns the most powerful communication tool in history, and chooses a side. He pushes one side over the other. He prioritizes their voice over the others. Blatantly, obviously, right in front of you. And says that he's not doing it. He tells you who to vote for. He is 100 times worse than anything, any allegation for George Soros. He really is. One time I heard Hillary had someone killed because he had dirt on hers. Tells you how evil she really was. You heard that? Really? Interesting. Well, you heard wrong. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Could you pull up a source for that? PBA? Yeah. People don't criticize Soros for doing anything illegal. There's the double standard there. Yeah, he's donating. There's evil George Soros. He's donating to Democrats. Click this link to donate to Republicans. What? George Soros is telling the media what to do. Yeah, and Elon is putting Donald Trump on there, letting him lie unopposed 4 hours, and then telling everybody they should back him. So much worse. So much worse. He's not independent. He's blatant partisan bias. And the richest man in the world, and owns the largest communication device to ever exist. Alex Jones talks in that husky voice about Soros because he believes Soros actually is actually evil. Yeah, he makes up a lot of things about George Soros. I dig that. But it's fun. It's the boogeyman. George Soros is under your desk right now. Zayla, listen. Careful, Zayla. Look under your desk right now. Make sure George Soros is not down there. He could be. He might be right behind you. George Soros might be right behind you right now. Have you checked lately? Have you checked? Have you checked? He believes a lot of things. I don't think he does. I don't think he believes anything. I think he just knows what riles people up. George Soros is indeed under my desk with the Clockwork Elves. Shit. That's where he's been, Zayla. That's where he is. That's where he's at. He's got them elves. Anyone that Jones doesn't like is evil or demonic. Yeah. That's his entire shtick. They're evil. They're demonic. They're coming for you, folks. Hillary was a pot-bellied atheist who eats babies. And it's just weird. He just needs that one little bit of excitement, one more little bit of crazy to add onto the fire so that he can get attention. I dig it. I understand why he needs that attention. We live in an attention economy, like if people don't watch your stuff, you don't go anywhere and you don't make enough money. I get it. And then you got to push the brain pills. I mean, once you guys listen, once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm totally pushing brain pills. Absolutely. So if you want Waldo brand sawdust filled brain pills, you need to go to the YouTube, click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, click the thumbs down. That even helps me. For spoilers, just in case you didn't know it, if you're on YouTube and you click that thumbs down, it actually still helps me. Not only does it make me feel vindicated in my anger, it proves that you're being engaged with the stuff, and they will put more of that in front of you. Will the sawdust be ethically sourced? Absolutely not. I will have Bangladeshi children sawing at old picnic tables with like nail files and stuff like that to capture the sawdust, then put it in there, and then it will have 1% echinacea and 1% St. John's wort, and we'll fucking sell it as a supplement. It'll be great. I'll be rich. You'll feel better. Something adrenochrome. Yeah. The thing about Alex Jones is that he has a legitimate mental illness and he puts on display to the world. I don't think he does. More power to him for monetizing what ails you. I guess he's essentially spreading the mind virus that he hears. Yeah. Society is a mind virus. I think you're right, Zayla. Society is a mind virus. Yeah. Okay. What's next? Do we have more to talk about? Ooh, okay. So this is a thing. You guys remember Donald Trump talking about the no tax on tips. I was worried about that when he was debating Biden. He mentioned the no tax on tips. I said, oh, that's fake populism. That's populism, depending on how it's implemented. That could be a populist idea that would get a lot of people excited and vote for him. Kamala has taken that idea and given us her version of it. I think it's a good thing. If your opponent has an idea, you should say, hey, that's a good idea. I'm going to make it better. That's what she's done. So when the Republicans over the next couple of days, because that's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear that over the next couple of days. You are going to hear that Kamala stole his idea. She's heard the good parts, filtered it out, made it better, and is making her own plan. No tax on tips, handing money to judges or tips, no bribes. Yeah, that's where she fixed it. She fixed that part, Malsidian. Kamala was the tie-breaking vote that authorized the IRS to go after tips. Maybe. I don't. That sounds like something that could happen. As she was the vice president, she would have been the tiebreaker. I hate tipping culture, and I think she's doing a middle of the road job about this. Donald Trump's going to do a right wing thing. She's going to do a middle of the road thing. Waldo on the left says, "Hey, why are we tipping at all? Tipping culture is monstrous, awful, and I hate it. Let's get rid of it." But she's going to be closer to the middle than I am, which is why I have to watch what she's doing and stuff like that and see how well it does and how well it doesn't. So let's listen to Jessica here on Fox News tell us about this tipping thing.
Well, the thing with the no tax on tips policy, which the Democratic senators have endorsed, and it has bipartisan popularity, but there is a distinction between the way the Democrats would do it and the way that Trump would do it. So the way the Kamala Harris plan would work is there would be an income limit, because right now there's a loophole in Trump's approach which would allow people like corporate lawyers, for instance, to take advantage of it, or people who work at hedge funds. So they want to make sure that it's actually for people who are earning low wages. And I should note that the Culinary Union came out and endorsed Kamala Harris. Donald Trump went on this whole thing like, I'm so good for the servers, and he did this in Las Vegas. They talked to a woman who said, you know, my tips are getting taxed, and the culinary union didn't care and endorsed Kamala, who they believe will be better for her.
But it was not her.
Well, the thing with the no tax on tips.
Yeah, I can't make it any
policy,
louder.
which
It's all of the
Democratic senators have
knobs are
endorsed.
maxed out. I don't know why she's so quiet. This one's maxed out. This one's maxed out on OBS. I had to bring it down earlier. That one's just real quiet. Regardless, what she suggested is that Donald Trump had the no tax on tips. Hedge fund managers, sneaky Wall Street types, were going to rearrange their pay structure to say this is a tip, so that they wouldn't have to pay taxes on things. Because if you have an accountant and you are an accountant, you can just move the words around. You can just move the money around, and you can change the labels and stuff like that, and you can get away with it. That's a loophole for the rich people. That's why it's fake populism. Donald Trump might have known this or might not. Whoever gave him the plan certainly knew it. They knew that if you say it, poor people are not going to get taxed on their tips. Psst, secretly and then quietly, what you do is you allow hedge fund managers to also turn their stuff into tips so that they will get to benefit from it. It passes. They love it. They donate to the Republican Party. They donate to Donald Trump. They love him. Then the economy feels better for them. So they go on CNBC and the Squawk Box and tell everybody that the economy's good. Doesn't matter if it is or not. They'll just say it's good because they're making more money. That's how the economy works. That's not commission. That's a tip. Yeah, exactly. So Kamala has taken the good idea and then put a cap on it, a salary cap on top of it, so that if you're above a certain amount, you don't get to not tax those things, even if you call them tips. I'm down with both sides having less taxes. Me thinking society is a mind virus. Taxes are necessary. Got to be done. You can't have a society without them. Bloop, boop. So this next one, yeah, this is it. Okay. What a no taxes on tips policy could mean for U.S. Tipping culture. No tax on tips policy would incentivize workers to push harder for more tips, and their employers would be into it, happy to shift the burden of wages to the customers, which is why I don't like tipping. Businesses then would have every reason to figure out more ways to push customers to tip. You can't buy something or eat or drink in these days without getting asked for gratuity, often on an iPad screen. As pervasive as things seem now, I have to imagine that it will only get even more pervasive should this pass. Yeah, I think he's right. There would be more tip, there would be more pressure to do it. Where things start to get wild is outside the restaurant industry, as Americans try to figure out ways to classify even more of their income as tips. Think about bankers, bonuses, or sales commissions, or even pay for a Substack writer or a freelance podcaster. A freelance podcaster would simply say, these are tips, you can't tax them. The U.S. tax code already has different rules for different kinds of income. Capital gains, for example, are taxed at a lower rate than payroll or income. So the capital gains guys would be like, hey, if I call this a tip, can I skip out on some taxes? And they're all to do with money and income and accounting anyway, so they would be all about it. When those kinds of divides happen, you create enormous incentives for people to game the system, says Howard Gleckman, a senior fellow at the Tax Policy Center. Those kinds of shenanigans, typically happen with higher earners. Think of the carried interest tax loophole, for example. So yeah, the higher rich people would do shenanigans to abuse Donald Trump's law, which is why I call it false populism, fake populism. He says to you, I am doing this to help the workers. And then the people who benefit the most are those top earners who run shenanigans. Capital gains tax lower than income. Say money gained from investment. The economy is not real. Trump's campaign hasn't offered much in the way of detail. So yeah, there's the other problem. Trump's campaign hasn't offered much in the way of detail for his plan because he's not too into that whole detailed plan shtick. He just says the cool stuff that gets everybody excited and cheers and claps. And then he lets the nerds and the pencil pushers figure out the rest later. Let's see. I'm a pretty religious 20% tipper. But if my dentist started asking me for tips, I would be like, hell no. Exactly. So other people, like your dentist, would start asking you for the tips, and it would go badly. And I think it would be ugly, and it would be weird. Well, that's it for the news tonight. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, Zayla put something up in the general chat. Here we go. That I wanted to look at. So if you're watching, if you're paying attention, hop into chat, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling. And if you want to, hop into that Discord right there. There's the Discord. It's right there. You can go there, and you can be a cool guy, just like all these guys. You can go there, and you can tell me what to talk about. You can tell me what you're thinking. You can tell me what you're feeling. You can tell us which news items are important and ought to be discussed. Then I can bring them up on screen and discuss them. Zayla put one in there today, and I'm going to bring it up on screen right now, as soon as I get it in the right place. I closed my window like an idiot. Now I have to reopen Google Chrome and then do a pasta. Then I have to go into OBS and then hit the button, window capture, drag, drop, put it right there. I've seen no details from Biden or Kamala or Obama or Bush. Presidents aren't supposed to be detailed. Okay, well, maybe you're right. Maybe they don't talk about details normally while on the stump and stuff like that. I get the idea. In the debate that Biden failed, he was spouting policy achievement details. Yeah, he was. He was pushing, this is the detail that I got, and this is the thing. He was explaining and talking about how great his record was. Poorly, because he's old. Everyone's social security number has reportedly been compromised in a massive data hack. At least we all get to go down together. You know, I'm glad that it wasn't just 1 million people. I'm glad it was everybody, because I mean, what good is that useful information if you have literally all the numbers? Hacking group allegedly leaked 2.7 billion pieces of data. That's all the people. That's all the data, my guy. Hacking group US DOD is claiming responsibility for leaking the personal information of Americans for 3.5 million. The records includes names, addresses, social security numbers. The social security number of every American may have been compromised in a massive cybersecurity breach that could threaten the identity of all citizens. The hacking group USDOD claims that they've leaked 2.7 billion personal information records, including social security numbers, full names, and home addresses, from a data broker called National Public Data, NPD. So, NPD is a background check agency that gives sensitive information to potential employers and staffing agencies during screening processes, as well as private investigators. That's why we shouldn't use our social as proof that you are who you are. We need a national ID. We really do. We need a national ID that is not attached to your driving. Not sure why driver's license happens to be the thing that we use to identify each other, but it's dumb. I don't know why Social Security is the one thing that we can get right. It's dumb. It's woefully inadequate. If you know where somebody was born, you can suss out half of their Social Security number right off the bat. That's what PBA Bowling was trying to do to me at the beginning of the stream. He was trying to socially engineer me. Yeah, I think we need a better system. I would suggest a national ID that you have to go into a place, fill out the forms. They take your picture. They give you an ID. It has a little microchip in it, similar to the military IDs. If you've seen one of those, it has a little microchip in it. They give you a card reader. You take it home. If you plug it into your phone and you go to the government website on your phone and you slide your card into that reader, it recognizes you. That's a 2-point thing. So you're on the website with your phone and your phone number, and you've got your card in there, making it harder to spoof. Then you type in your PIN number, which is harder to spoof. Hopefully it's not the same as your phone unlock screen, but that's a different thing. And then you can access government websites from your phone, sign up for unemployment, get welfare benefits, change important statuses and stuff like that, get your driver's license, apply for a driver's license, make an appointment for when to come get your driver's license, and then they will tell you when to be there, and then hopefully you'll have an appointment and you won't have to sit there for 7.5 hours like I usually see people doing. Like, I make an appointment every time I go to the DMV. Right, seriously. Like, I walked into one a long time ago. It was in Hawaii, but I made an appointment for 11 o'clock. I walked in. I saw 9,000 people in there, just sitting there, angry and unhappy. And then I walked in about 10 minutes before my appointment. I sat there for 10 minutes, and then I went and got my thing done at the time. Just make an appointment, guys. Come But then, so you make an appointment, you get the ID. I would connect them. I know, here, big brain idea. I would connect it to a public library. So while you're there, if you do have to wait, you have a library. Go read a book. And then my evil plan is to use that thing to allow you to vote from your phone. I think it's a great idea. Set aside my mornings and early afternoons when I have to go to the DMV and bring a book. I never make an appointment. Yeah, exactly. Make an appointment. Most of them have appointments. You can set your appointment for 11 o'clock. Are they always behind and slow? Yes. But maybe if you make an appointment, they'll get you back there faster. That's been my experience anyway. So, and my evil plan would connect this national ID to a library. So if you want to get this national ID to vote and to get your pay your taxes and all that fun stuff, you have to go to the library. Then you might accidentally see a book. I think this is a good idea. Okay. That's about all the news I've got for tonight, honestly. It's 8:30 already. I don't think I want to start up a video game. But I don't mind chatting with you guys if you got things to chat about. I think if you've got ideas or questions, feel free to toss them in there.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Ridwan, you just turned a frog gay. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. You just turned a frog gay. Eager to assist you expanding your audience. Oh my goodness. How could I not do this? You guys, listen. He's expanding my audience and seeing my amazing streams. I can help you get more views. Oh my God. And followers by recommending your channel to my community. Whoa. Let's discuss how to collaborate on Discord. Oh my goodness. I'd be a fool not to do that. Shinsenто sees a book and bursts into flames. It's true. Yeah, scammers. That's what they do. That's how it goes. But I got one more follower out of it until he unfollows later because I didn't click on his link. That's okay. That's how the internet is. Sometimes that's how it be. That's how it do. Let me think. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. I don't have too much else to talk about. If you guys got any questions or ideas or want to shit on me for my silly idea about a national ID, feel free to do so. I'm going to be back on Saturday. Thomas should be here on Saturday. I think he will. Account gets deleted. One less follower. Yeah. That's what happens is that my follower account goes up by 1 and then his account gets deleted or he unfollows me because I didn't follow his thing and I banned him. So that's just how it goes. That's how the internet is. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Saturday should be a bit more philosophical, I suppose, with me and Thomas. Usually that's what happens is he and I have to drill down to the definition of words or else we can't have a discussion because I think he and I have different definitions a lot of times or different important bits. Should I bring up the what's it called? The ethics chart, I think the chart is great. I showed it to Zayla the other day. Zayla, what did you think about the chart? I love it. I think it's great. Should I bring that up on Saturday when I'm talking with Thomas? I know he hates it as well, but I think he hates it because it proves me right all the time. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. Let me find my drawing, my thing. Where did I put the chart? Where's the chart? It's in this file. Blah bloop. There it is. Chart.png. Bring that up on screen in a moment. No, that's a bad chart. It's only half done. Where's the finish chart? There we go. Finish chart. I got one of the, I opened up one of the outlines, webcam screen, web capture, photos. Is that what this is? It's in photos. Yeah. Is that on the screen? It's not. Sad. How do we make OBS see this thingy? No, that's photo app. The photo app is what it's in right now. Maybe I should open it in something other than the photo app. Let's try and open it in, what, Paint? I don't know. Open with Paint. Sure. Oh, yeah, then I can edit it. So then we go here, like that. And make it a little bit longer. Since you can't have government without people to govern, it's clearly inappropriate to have morals while holding office. Hang on. What? It's clearly inappropriate to have morals while holding office. I completely disagree. I don't know what you're going at for there, boss. Window capture. Then we go here and we go to Paint. There it is. There's my super cool document that I invented. Kind of. Yeah, I invented this, right? I'm going to add to it. I'm going to add culture right here, you know, because that's what it needs. That's what it needs. It needs culture. And then above culture, we'll have movies and religion and TV shows and Game of Thrones. And then late sarcasm. Okay, great. Good job, Melcidian. I totally fell for it. You trolled me good. And then the point of this thing, because I know I was talking to Zayla about this thing. The reason I made this goofy thing is because Thomas and I would often have arguments about the law. What is allowed, what is not. We would, and then as I tried to get down to the understanding of why he was against a certain law, usually gun laws, and why I was on board for it, is because we had different politics. And politics, again, is a whole different thing. So I'm voting for one side, he's voting for the other, sure. But what are politics? They're applied ethics. I think politics is applied ethics. And he and I apply our ethics differently. Then that made me think, well, wow, if he and I have different ethics, what else? What's below ethics? Well, below ethics is the metaphysical, what we think about the things that exist. So this is how I got here, is he and I saw the physical. We had thoughts about it. We had different thoughts because I had a different thought about this thing. I had different ethics, and then his ethics were different from mine. And then I would go up to politics and spread to a different place, and he would pop out a different place. And then when we get to the laws, I'm way over here, and he's way over there. And that's how we got there. That's why we're so far apart on this law stuff, is because we had different politics. We have different politics because we have different ethics, and we have different ethics because we have different metaphysical ideas about what we think about the things that exist. And all of this, again, was in... reference to whether or not objective morality exists, because Thomas tells me that objective morality does exist, and I think he's super duper wrong. There is no such thing as an objective moral. All morals are of the mind, so it can't be objective. It is a thought process. There is no objective thought process. You can have thoughts about things that are objective. You can have thoughts about a chair, yeah. But the thought is subjective. The thought itself. The chair is an object, sure. But the thoughts you have about it, the opinions you have on its color, whether or not you think it's a pretty chair, that's all subjective thought. Whether or not you think you should be allowed to make chairs, that's an ethical question. Are you allowed? What are your rules of conduct? Is it right or wrong to create chairs? Well, that's an ethics question, isn't it? Not those kinds of thoughts, Waldos. Yeah, I know. You can have those kinds of thoughts too. Those are metaphysical thoughts, you know. If you think about boobas, those are objects connected to a person, sure. But what do you think about them? You think they're cool and pretty. Great. That's a thought you can have. That's a subjective thought that you are having. It is not an objective morality. There is no objective morality, according to me. And I think, and this is just my opinion, that Republicans and conservatives want there to be an objective morality so they can tell you that you are not, that you are wrong. It's very much difficult. It's much more difficult to tell somebody they're wrong if there is no right answer. Sorry, there's a dog nipping at my toes. If there is no objective morality that is correct and supports the Republican position, then it's very difficult for them, mostly people like the hard right-wing YouTube guys, to tell you that you're wrong. I think I always forget their names during stream. Dude, I think about them every once in a while, and I see a YouTube video from them, and I think, oh, I should mention that guy, but then I forget their names. I'm so averse to drama that I can't even remember the names of the people I disagree with. Anywho, the right wing needs objective morality to exist, or else it's chaos. They hate chaos. They really don't like chaos. This is what I get from talking to Thomas and watching other right wing people. They don't want chaos. If it can't be nailed down, they're terrified that it's just flopping around loosey-goosey and chaotic. They don't like that. They want order. They want stability. They want that order and stability so that they can get prosperity from it. I don't care. Human freedom is loosey-goosey flopping around and doesn't matter, and more important than anything else. So that's just the direction I take all of my politics, and I might bring this up again on Saturday. I'm not entirely sure. It depends on how many people are watching, how many people want to talk about it. And I think that might be a good thing to do on Saturday. I'm going to try and remember how I adjusted this, because I don't want to just draw on it, because I have these whole circles, these squares and things like that. I think I can make a square like this, right? I can draw this here, except it's too thick. It's not as thin as the other ones. You know what I'll do? I'll copy and paste. We're going to select this. Sure. We're going to copy it. Going to pasta it. I'm going to put it right here. Because I suck at, oh God, I suck at paint. Let's undo that. Doop, doop, doop. We'll do the size. There we go. Thin one. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. And then we're going to call this one culture. Just there. Then we're going to draw a line. How do we make the lines? Lines here to here. Perfect. Then we're going to get our letters. Bloop. Letters. Oh, God. This color. Yeah. We're going to type right here. Culture. It's not quite the right color. It's not the right color. This one then. Culture. Don't forget, you guys can do TTS to yell at me and call me names. And insult my paint skills. Is this not the same color? It looks like the same color. Can I get the dropper button? Where's that dropper button? Dang. I like the dropper, you know? Anywho, we're going to do blue. We're going to delete that. We're going to escape. There we go. Okay. We're going to do here, this. Here, go. Culture. Jeebus. It's still the wrong color blue. How did I screw this up? Can I edit with Paint 3D? I think Paint 3D has better options. Regardless, what am I doing? I'm rambling. I'm being a crazy person. I'm going to add culture right there someday when I figure out how. Dropper right there. Ba-bam. Dropper. There. Okay. Now we go to here. Go to here. Type. And we're going to make it 22. Culture. Still too small. Gonna make it 28. Culture. There we go. It's close enough. Oh, damn it. If you click off of it, it disappears. You can't change it anymore. Hate you. Anywho, I'll do this when I'm not on stream because I'm so bad at it. I'm probably driving somebody crazy if anybody were watching. That's it for me tonight anyway. I appreciate everybody who came in. Thanks for the new couple of followers, even if one of you was a robot and the other one just hates me. That's fine too. Hate views are views. I'm not going to complain. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on Saturday. Maybe a Friday game stream during the day. I'm not entirely sure. The idea of getting up stupid early and doing like a 6 a.m. Game stream on Friday, it appeals to me just so maybe I get a different audience or something like that. Maybe, maybe not. That sounds like a pain in the ass. I don't want to do it, but I might just for fun. You don't feel indebted to be there, Shinzento or KBP. If I do a 6 a.m. game stream, don't show up if you don't want to.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.